icky. You guys, but they all support the thing that's going on that side of the earth, and ick, no. Just like there's a very specific company that's doing bad things to their artists and bad things to their women in their office that we're straight up not talking about, even though I'm excited for exactly one of their games. Well, kind of two. I'm excited for. I'm gonna dance around it just so I don't name it. Uh, there is a specific remaster that we've shared privately. Yeah, the one you played on a motherfucking Apple II. Yeah, and then the other one is the uh, re-release of a game that hit its 10th anniversary this year. That is, I'll just look in the general chat. Yeah, I'm excited for that game. I don't want to support that company. I will take the game I have from that company when I thought they were fine, when I was blissfully ignorant, and I will just continue to play that one because they don't make any. Because that one they don't make any extra money off me, right? Everybody like my the notification to go live. Remember that one? You see that? This good stuff. While it's just us, while we wait for some people to show up, at least one or two people, what does everybody think about me taking this stream and uploading it to the YouTube channel a couple days later? Okay. I think. Okay. Now I've got yes, so in a couple days I'll grab it off Twitch and we'll do that. It will be unedited. I will literally download it from Twitch's side and I'll upload it with a very similar title with this live notification, if that's okay with people. That's what it's labeled as now. How's everybody's week? You know what? Yeah, we got some time before some people show up. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, let's go. How bad Yugi is like OP as shit. I'm Goku. I hear Yugi is the. I hear Yugi Moto. Plot armor. There is none. There is none. Tell me why I tell me why I ordered a McGangbang but only got the McDouble. no. Tell me why I ordered a. Tell me why I ordered a hot coffee, and they gave me with 2 cream and 2 sugar, and they turned around with an ice cup and go, "Here you go." You're also losing against a 12-year-old child with a motherfucking card game. Versus this very toned, very, very on fleek dude. Kai, boy. You know what? Yeah, for sure. 100% character. In a children's card game. But you promised. But you promised. You promised we go get ice cream after the show. You hushed that. You could, but we got a show to do. Alrighty there, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so before we begin proper, I want to take 2 seconds to thank BabyEdge1022 for the follow. And without further ado, Beastie, let's begin. I'm Red. You are. Yes. The Batman stops contracting the Rona.
So, it's. Okay. I am still very cautiously optimistic about this one. But, like, on the one hand, The Mandalorian's fantastic. On the other hand, I'm looking at you, entire sequel trilogy, with a great deal of suspicion. Mm-hmm. So, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Okay. At the very least, we know Ewan McGregor's been doing fine as an actor. Like, I enjoyed his weird black mask breakdown in Birds of Prey. Yeah. That was his role in that movie. That was a really weird way of doing Roman Sionis, but like I had fun with it, you know? And I got to watch him die. That's all anyone can ask. I mean, Ewan McGregor's a fantastic actor, so. He really, really is. Also, one of you guys, I can definitely hear you watching the stream, so turn off the audios. Audio is down.
My audio is muted.
Yeah. And I mean, even if the series isn't very good, I'm going to watch it anyway just to bitch about it to people because Star Wars is one of my favorite things to complain about at people.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, it's the great pastime now.
Tis but the pastime.
Everyone's got one Star Wars thing they hate, so we can all bond over it. Just like we all have at least one Star Wars thing we enjoy. Mm-hmm.
My one thing I like to hate is Jar Jar.
I think
that's universal, and that's fine. Alone.
Yeah.
You are not alone. That's universal, man. That B.N.C will never never escape that hate.
Right? They can put him in whatever animated thing they want to try to redeem this character, and I'm still out. Misa still gonna bounce.
No, man, forget that. God.
We leave Jar Jar where he is.
Forgotten.
In the first trilogy, exactly. In the first trilogy,
got it. Yeah, for sure.
Yo,
stop that right there. Have you guys seen the Clone Wars? I haven't finished the whole thing. That's fair. It's long.
Me and my significant other are working our way through Rebels, and then we'll be bouncing to that one.
I have no recollection of where I was watching Star Wars, so probably not.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
it's worth it. worth a watch. There are some points where it very much stands out as a kids show because sometimes it very much is a kids show, and then other times it's very much not a kids show, and you can tell. So those tonal shifts are a little bit weird to me, but it gets better at managing as it goes along. Ahsoka is in fact a gem and a gift and needs to be protected. Unfortunately, no one told Anakin that.
Hey, listen here. You're talking about Anakin, the galaxy's greatest babysitter.
Oh, no.
You're talking about Anakin,
That's one way to describe
the universe's worst baby daddy.
Man, he's just Anakin. You're just checking all the boxes now, man.
Batting
He's
10 out
real
of
not
10s
good
here,
with kids.
dude. Like, come on.
He's really not good with kids.
Man,
Let alone his own. God.
I mean, you know, what better way to bond with your child than to engage in some light dismemberment?
what do we do, Master Skywalker? Die?
Clip off his arms. What else do we do in this series?
Oh, man. Skywalker, what do we do? Oh, I don't know about you guys, but
Have you kids ever felt the tip of a lightsaber?
No.
Are you under 8 years old?
Mm.
Have you ever felt the tip of a lightsaber? Well, come on down to the Galactic Senate and we'll show you a thing or two.
Jesus. Advertised, brought to you by the dark side.
We have donuts.
Yeah.
This live show is brought to you by the prequels. Don't watch them.
Yeah. You know who else has donuts? Me.
Just watch episode 3. That's the only thing that's worth it.
Facts. You know what? That's actually facts.
If you really want politics, have fun with the first 2 episodes.
Yo,
If
the
you
first
are
2
a
episodes are
normal
super.
person, no.
I'm sure if the first 2 episodes super stoned, I'm sure they're super great.
I'll tell you this. When I did, I'll just mention this real quick. But I did a rerun when episode 9 was coming out, right? So I did it with my buddies, and watching the first 2, it was like a weird fever dream political situation because you're seeing everything happening, but it was so heavily politics, and it was like
there's
whoa.
nothing good about episode 1 until the last 30 fucking minutes where they fight Darth Maul.
Bro, but that's
And you know, Darth
true
Maul.
facts. Everything else was a comedy scene.
And that is all. Episode 2, there's nothing good about episode 2. Nothing. Not even the final battle. Nothing's good about that movie. It's so boring.
What if I told you I don't even remember the final battle for that episode?
Good, because Anakin loses a hand, and Tyrannus
I told you
gets
we
away.
cut off arms in this series.
And that's all. And then you have episode 3, which is kind of like a gem, except for the whole younglings thing and a few other things. But that one's kind of a gem for Anakin versus Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan versus Grievous. The whole movie is good for the action they gave you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just thinking about it. But given that Maul's the only good thing in episode 1, that might be why he refuses to die ever at all for the rest of ever.
Until
the rest of time.
Until you rematch Obi-Wan again and again, and their fights get shorter and shorter.
It's really funny, actually. He keeps turning up like, aha! And Obi-Wan's just like, how are you still here?
In fact, their last matchup, it was like 0.5 seconds. Like the dude sliced him in half in just one move, and they would call it a day.
Well, yeah, this is like the 5th time this happened.
And this is Obi older, so he should be slower. He still beat him. Like it's just Maul.
He was like,
so sorry, man.
I can't believe you're still alive. Let me fix that real quick.
You know, there's always got to be that one. There's always that one character that's got to be ass, right? He's got to have like one kind of like one shitty Sith and one shitty Jedi, and Maul got that position, man. I feel so bad for him because like he had the cool look and just keeps getting slapped up left and right.
Left and right, my guy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can talk about Star Wars. We have an entire episode bitching about the entire series.
We sure do. And that was a good time.
Oh,
if you'd like to go watch that to hear us go through all 9 movies, well, all 12 plus movies, and just run the entire gambit through them all, well, I'll find you the episode link in a little bit here. Beastie,
you start talking about news.
And yes, we do snipe Jar Jar in this.
Beastie, your turn.
Okay. Well, I guess for my news, it's gonna be 2 little snippets, which is going to be the Mass Effect rumors slash remaster per se. So there's been articles or there's been talks about this remaster, but people have just been speculating. More or less, there's been a Mass Effect 5 rumor that's been talking about that they might be back in production for, I guess, possibly either a new story, a sequel, or a prequel. Nobody knows. It's heavily rumored, and everybody's like, "What's going on? We want to know. We want the juice, you know." So
we want the ending that's real.
and that's BioWare.
You want an
right?
ending that's not the ending Tron 5000?
Oh jeez.
So BioWare, okay. So these guys have some work to do because the last stuff they kind of pushed out was kind of stinky.
And the main reason for that is obviously because, well, per se, people have said that the main reason is because of I think when the Andromeda got handed off into the other head office for BioWare, which was I think in Toronto or Montreal. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you. But yeah, mostly people were saying that was the reason because, like, obviously there wasn't the main heads of Edmonton BioWare that had worked on it, and so that's why people were just like, they got handed this game. People were like, okay, let's see what we can do with it. And then once it got back, people were just like, well,
not our responsibility, not our fault. Don't be harsh.
You asked for a game. This is it. Here it is.
You can play this. It functions.
It literally, and that's what people are complaining about.
It's a thing. It does stuff.
Yeah. It's like the same thing almost, right? New people, but same thing.
I say this with skepticism because I own Anthem.
And
that's another thing too, right?
And that's all I say to that. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, let alone from that, the quote from I believe this one article had mentioned whether Mass Effect 5 will be a sequel to the original trilogy, like I mentioned, the next chapter in the new Andromeda saga, or a start of an entirely new story, is unaware, but we can just pay attention to see what happens. What is evident, however, is that unless BioWare is unable to retain a single core team to work on its flagship franchise, so like having one base operation focused on the game specifically throughout the whole thing, then it might look iffy once like per se for Anthem with the results of that. So
iffy is a bit generous, but
yeah, I'm being generous. Yeah. I'm being generous. But yeah, for me, as one of the Mass Effect fans who joined in like midway of like the games, I enjoyed Andromeda for what it was as it was, and that's what that was his.
That's fair.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just had a hell of a legacy that it was tied to, and like if you drop the Mass Effect stuff, switch a few of the alien races around, and just marketed that as a completely different game, it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's fine. It's just not a good Mass Effect game.
Yeah, it's just there was potential, and people were like, the hardcore fans were like, but wait, what about this? And why is this new and this? And what? Where are these people? So, there was a lot of things people were like looking for. Obviously, things didn't show up. People got sad or mad, depending on how you look at it. And
people are very good at getting mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh no, my heart was broken. I wanted game to be Robot Man shooting aliens in space. I got the game, and it's boring as all hell. So my faith in them is kind of low, very low.
I'll put a little bit of faith on the opposite end and be like, hey, if this goes good, if they take their time and do good, then there's a chance we can see. Please, good game. I like my Mass Effect, yes. On the other side of news, though, we have now the revealed Xbox prices. So the Xbox prices that we have on screen are relative to Canada prices. For the Xbox Series X and Xbox, I'll call it Scorpio, which was the original project name. Just docked those prices by like roughly $100 or so.
That Series X just reminds me of the monolith from like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
You know what? It does.
That's going to change the face of the world and probably not better.
And this is going to change the face of gaming, apparently.
Yeah,
allegedly.
But yes, with these prices, there have been some additional things revealed as well, just as side benefits. So compared to as well the Game Pass, as mentioned, or that they have available, or Game Pass Ultimate, there's been some updates on that as well. With they're adding the EA Play membership into it, so then there's more free games available for Xbox Game Pass as well, and they're also adding this new system for this new program called Xbox All Access to 12 countries, so available in most regions. So that way, people who aren't able to afford it right off the bat can, in a sense, finance it per se. So how that
game console?
Yeah,
we are at that stage.
Trust me, I heard it
we
too.
We
and I was
are
like,
in this late stage of capitalism. I believe you.
Oh jeez.
It's
But
at this,
how?
it's at this
Sorry,
particular moment. I'd like to thank our new follower, Little Buck. Thank you for the
Thanks,
follow.
Little Buck.
Ayo.
Proud to have you on the team.
Please to continue.
Welcome aboard.
Yes, but how Xbox All Access works is basically it'll be having basically Xbox Game Pass, Ultimate and all this stuff. So basically for PC like Microsoft and all that stuff, and still Xbox games as well as some Xbox 360 previous games, but some titles. I'm not sure on how the quantity is for those now because it might be shortened just so we can have more of the Xbox One generation games. How the payments will work, I believe, depending on obviously which console you get, the price for the Xbox Scorpio, which is the white one, we'll be looking at, I believe will roughly start from around $24.99 a month for 24 months, and the original Xbox Series X, which is the black one, is going to be $34.99 a month for 24 months.
Man, that series S reminds me of Hell from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Jesus.
Look, clearly Xbox has been taking some inspiration from sci-fi.
Kubrick?
At least Kubrick.
Oh man.
I mean, it could be worse, At least it's not outright fucking Skynet.
I don't think we're anywhere.
No, there's a real company in the real world that literally called itself Skynet just to prove that they wouldn't do that.
Wow.
Being like, look, what if we take the name and make sure Skynet super doesn't do that?
You see, that's how you start time paradoxes, though. You did it because you didn't want it to happen, but then you end up being that Skynet anyways.
We're the parallel universe.
That's a legitimate amount of concern.
Time travel's a bitch.
Oh no. We're gonna be the parallel universe.
Sure. It's a paradox. Oh, I made Skynet so that we will never have killer robots. 10 years later, we make killer robots. Paradox.
What if I told you this company was in charge of facial recognition software?
I would tell you that I have a great many concerns, and that also we should probably do something about that ASAP.
Oh man.
I don't know why getting crossed out, like writing a cross out thing, counts as symbol spamming. Sorry, Little Buck.
Yeah, sorry about that, Little Buck.
We're gonna have to do something about our bots, and by we, I definitely mean Red.
Well, I'll just tell you right now,
will fix.
We have a Skynet now, and it does facial recognition. And if you have any children out there named John Connor, I feel
protect
bad
them.
for you.
Protect the child.
I feel real bad.
Just like Ahsoka, they need to be protected.
Unless you watch Terminator Genesis, where that gets rewritten and John Connor doesn't matter anymore.
Unless you watch the one before that where Matt Smith's in it, but he doesn't do anything.
He cameos for all of 2 minutes.
Damn.
He was invited to the set. They caught a quick couple angles of him, then they told him to get the hell out.
Or you can always get Christian Bale come back and he can yell at the lighting guy again.
Hilarious.
Right? I want those deleted scenes.
Oh my god. But that is all for my news, though.
All right, I guess it's my turn. So, this morning, Nintendo decided to shadow drop something yet again. It seems every week Nintendo decides to shadow drop something. That's because the current running theory is that Nintendo is actually 5 months behind. So all of this stuff was supposed to be at E3, but never happened.
Ooh.
I wonder why.
Right? And so now they have no idea what their schedule is looking like. So if you're seeing games right now, these games would have been announced at E3. So they're not operating as of September 2020. They're operating as of April 2020. So there was a theory that was floating around a very specific friend group, ours, that Nintendo might actually have to do a Christmas, like, just unfurling of the pants here.
Just pulling the cheeks apart and just dumping everything down.
I don't like either of your metaphors there, but let's keep going.
That they will just have to put a whole bunch of things on the table with a big direct and with a whole bunch of everything, because in their mind, that's where they are now. Because that's what they planned for.
It's gonna happen.
The other thing that we're very concerned about is, well, all the things that were supposed to happen this year that now got all pushed back. 2021 is going to look a little packed.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Because those should actually naturally catch up. But everything else, not so much. But this morning, a sequel, kind of, and prequel, kind of, to two different Zelda franchises were announced. One was, it's kind of the sequel to, or the spiritual successor, I guess, to Hyrule Warriors, a game that was initially released on the Wii U.
Yep.
A console nobody bought.
That's true, but some people did play this game.
And then a whole bunch of people were added to that game as DLCs. You've got Impa, you've got the Midna, you've got Linkle as a DLC character.
Which,
just kidding, she's a plot character. She uses crossbows, she's cool. So it's kind of a sequel to that one, or a spiritual successor. And also, it's a prequel to Breath of the Wild. This game will take place exactly 100 years before your player, Link, is initially frozen. Put in time stasis.
You can say pseudo-murdered. I'm sure that's not going to get us in trouble.
Okay.
So, Nintendo looks to be that Nintendo would really like to push more of this. I'm sure a lot of this game is going to be referenced when eventually Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. Because what Nintendo's looking to do is play like Zelda and Daruk and Rivali, the other 4 characters here. Or at least some of the characters anyway. And Uroboso, we can't forget about Big Giant Axe Lady.
She won't let you.
No.
The axe is for.
Correct. It's looking like Nintendo's going to want to push these people as like mainstays of the Zelda series, so much so that their amiibos that initially released in the Wii U version are getting an entire reprint. Ooh. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, aren't amiibos usually like once they're out there kind of thing?
Yeah, you get a couple of reprints like steadily, but you know, when a Pokemon game came out, there was not a re-release of the Pokemon amiibo.
Yeah. For the most part, they get vaulted.
Yeah, once they're done, they're done. If you're an avid amiibo collector like me, you show up on the day a game comes out because Nintendo likes to group all their stuff together.
Avid collector, the immaculate collection.
Yeah,
as I call it.
It's got lights. It looks fantastic.
There's a whole night mode.
Yeah, there's something to look at, man. I like looking at those pictures, man. It's cool.
You mean the Grand Collector?
There's a lot of effort, I tell you.
No,
so, this game will be coming out later this year, in the next couple months. And also, we can expect more information about this game and possibly others on the 26th of September.
Damn. That's not far off at all.
Not at all. I'm hoping there's a Smash reveal or something, but if not, I'm still going for the Christmas jump, man.
Yeah, or you make friends at shops where people sell them, and get the hookup that way. Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, that's having networking skills, though, and I don't know about you guys, but my preferred emotional state is that of a hermit.
Understood.
We understand.
I'm on the hermit level too. Yeah.
Why talk to people when the alternative of doing not that is so wonderful?
Relationships,
so I believe,
free things.
Shut your face. I believe that leaves us with one piece of news.
It's down to me.
I tried to do a drum roll, but my mic didn't pick it up.
Captain.
All right. Let's see here. Wait for imagery to show up. There we go. So my news is short but not sweet. None of it's really good, but with the with the ongoing pandemic and with the release of both New Mutants and Tenet, and both movies not pulling in the numbers or the cash,
I mean,
there's
you
a high
had a lot
chance.
of problems.
Yeah, right. There's a high
Don't
chance
diss on
that
my baby.
the rest of these movies might get pushed back to 2021, maybe even 2022. Stuff like Wonder Woman 84 might be pushed down to November or December. Same thing with Black Widow. And most of Sony stuff like Morbius and Venom 2 are now in question. They might not be filmed at all this year, or they might resume filming later in 2021. But so far, nothing right now. If Wonder Woman does get pushed down to November or December, we're looking at a pushback on Dune as well. Just because we're testing the market to see if people will brave the outdoors, but so far not so good.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But understood. Nobody wants to be out and in a packed room with people breathing the same air, and you can tell me you've got all the safety features you want, but if I'm going to sit there for 3 hours, no.
Yeah. At this point now, it's come down to if you want to release it and put your movie, your big budget movie at risk and see if it's gonna pull the numbers in, which it's not going to, or do a home release, which even then it's still not still not a concrete thing. There hasn't been any big numbers on Scoob. Same thing with Mulan. So right now Hollywood's kind of in a bubble, and they're not exactly sure what to do.
Yeah, the only thing that I know from me listening to a whole bunch of backstage stuff is we're going to face a big problem that a whole bunch of companies are going to buy a whole bunch of scripts to shoot, and the whole production cycle is going to come to a screaming halt. Because you'll have all these scripts that are ready to go, but you can't have anybody in front of a camera for too long, and everybody's going to come, and you're just going to, and then actors... And then you have auditions, and then you have getting people on.
Unless you're making your own production company left and right, there's not much work happening right now.
Now, if I could remember the film, and maybe I'll one of my co-hosts here can help me out with finding it. Zendaya, who's featured in the picture for the movie of Dune, actually produced a film during this, and apparently it's doing okay.
Yeah.
Because it was just Amazon bought the rights to it and then just put it on their thing, and here we are.
Right.
Maybe it's HBO. But point is that it's there for them.
Yeah.
And it's working. It's possible.
It's just very tricky.
We just got to find the right method of how to resell now that it's already been filmed and all the money's been poured into it. How do you generate that money back now, right?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Mulan, Red, and big issue with that one is just that film ended up being pretty controversial for a whole bunch of reasons.
Yeah.
Not least but the easiest to talk about being just the fact that it's a reimagining of a lot of people's favorite childhood movie, and it's done in a very, very different style. And so it was always going to face some problems there. But where before people could kind of make a day out of it and go see it, even if it was just to, disparage it to their friends, people aren't going to pay $30 to see it in the comfort of their own home just to have a bad time.
I was about to say the same thing. Even despite the controversy, even if it didn't have it, right, the $29.99 price tag is not worth that movie.
No.
Okay.
No.
And honestly, I hope this kind of sinks into Disney's head of not everything has to be a live action remake, because honestly, that engine's about to die, man. Give that a bit of a rest here and there.
Well, unless it's animated right now, all of these projects are just going to sit on a shelf for a little while.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, at the same time, to put a pause on that and save the live action remakes for the movies you really want to put make live action, right? We didn't need a Lion King.
No, that wasn't live action. That was just.
There's no need for 2 hours of CG animals talking to each other. It's stupid as shit.
Did I need to see Mufasa that wasn't Mufasa die again? No. Did I do it anyway because it was free on Disney Plus, basically? Yes.
Right. It's pointless. When I watched Jungle Book, right?
That's the only one I
That's a movie.
liked. That's the one
Yeah,
I
but you
liked
know
the most.
that movie didn't need it though, because like you're watching a little kid talk to just CG animals the entire way, and it's just like it's stupid.
But do I want to be like you?
Stop.
Well, that's the thing. There's live action that's actually live action, but
Right, Aladdin.
so much of Disney stuff is
Yeah.
Aladdin was actually live action. That was mostly actors.
Yeah.
But so much of Disney stuff has just enough fantastical elements that you end up CGing half the damn thing anyway.
Yes.
Which kind of drops the point.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen,
I mean,
if we're
they're
gonna
pouring
sit
their money
here,
into everything now. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the one that I would like to see, if this is a trend they'd like to continue, I'm sure it is, because up until this one, they at least made their money back.
They really like their money.
Yeah. I think the one I want to see is Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That'd be another good one.
I wouldn't mind that being a thing.
Because
but
Dumbo, why would you do Dumbo? There's a couple other ones that are based on people. Do the people ones first. Throw an animal one in there, and then be like, maybe? And then when Dumbo does well, be like, yeah, okay, let's double down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's what? There's Atlantis, right? You could make that into a live action film.
Listen, no,
Atlantis?
Pause. Okay.
Yeah.
If you do Atlantis,
yes,
you would need to do that movie the same way you did Black Panther.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
In the sense of like it would have to
build
be
a culture, build a entire people, and have it done
build
by
the culture.
Color.
Almost, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to, because if that movie does not that, I will not give that money a dime. I won't even watch it on Disney Plus.
Disney, are you listening? You better be listening.
The only character in that, well, there's a handful of characters, part of Milo's like whole brigade there. That
there's like 3 or 4 white people,
and that's it.
Yeah.
So just for me to interject, so in an aspect little known of the cast, like the main, I guess, crew was it? Yeah, that was in a sense diverse. Like you're also
the production
wishing,
crew diverse.
Yeah, I was, of course, and then as well, like with the Atlantic people, like make it properly like shown or depict with that diversity that they showed in the original, as what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. I think there's another movie I'm thinking around that era of time that was close
Treasure
to
Planet.
Thank you, Table. Thank you.
Those two go hand in hand, bro.
That's the other one you should.
Okay.
Who knows?
But
who knows?
If we're gonna do those, Atlantis comes first.
Yeah.
Sure.
And use the money that you gained from doing Atlantis to do Treasure Planet.
And focus on those. I'm telling you, those will generate money, and stop remaking films that don't remake the films that everybody already loves.
Okay, you know what? This one crashed and burned when it was in the box office the first time. Do the Black Cauldron.
That's another one. That'd be a great fantasy movie.
Because it's fantastical already.
Yeah.
It's meant to be magical. It's meant to be big. You know, it's like Enchantress meets Enchanted meets Maleficent.
You can do Sword in the Stone. A good old Arthurian story with Merlin.
You know how cheap you can do an Arthurian movie on?
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is, there's so many movies that didn't do super great initially. Not because they weren't good concepts, but just because they were released at weird times. So, give them another shot.
I think Treasure Planet was released in like the same 2 months, like after Toy Story. Like, no.
Yeah, there was no way it was gonna do well.
Like my point of view is, like, stop touching the ones that already made you the cash, because they work really well. They work really well animated, right? The ones that you did animated that didn't sell well is because you did them animated. Take those same properties and do them live action now, because they probably translate better in live action than being animated.
And the other thing is, if you hang on to your Cinderellas, your the big ones that everybody knows, do a big one. Start the big one. Do Aladdin first. Who gives a shit, right? Yeah. I liked Aladdin for sure. I love the music in Aladdin and Mulan. They're tied for my favorites. However, if you're gonna start this big project, you start with the one everybody knows. You start with Aladdin. Then you go back and forth on ones that people don't know about and ones that people know about. Because if that one fails, then this one succeeds. And that one fails, and this one succeeds. Like, then
people will try stuff.
Right. And you can gauge how you make money.
Yeah. Well, they did a 2-hour movie of talking animals. Go figure.
This is
Thank
why
you, Beastie.
This is why I still have yet to see the Lady and the Tramp one.
I'm not
Wait.
gonna watch that.
Oh, they made a live action of that, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
I forgot.
And listen,
Oh,
they've already done
rightfully
this.
so.
They did a live action Lady 101 Dalmatians.
Yep, they did. A long
Years
time
ago.
But that one was decently good.
This is
That's
what I'm
right.
saying. Do you want to know what you do? You just do it again. I'm not even joking, not even memeing. Do the same script. Shuffle it a little.
You're already too late though, because Emma Stone's supposed to be doing a film being Cruella de Vil.
Put her in the fucking movie. I give a shit.
So they're doing a fucking origin story, man. They're doing an origin now.
I mean,
they did it for Maleficent.
Yeah, but Maleficent made fucking money and made a sequel and made money.
Yep.
Made money twice.
So Emma Stone's Cruella de Vil in her own thing. Then we just do 101 Dalmatians again.
No, they'll do 100. They'll do 102.
Oh, sorry,
Let's
my
make
bad.
this clear.
They won't do 101 because that's already been filmed. They'll do 102 and make it like a loose sequel.
With like different parents, like they did with the first live action.
Hey man, you ever watch a soap opera? They do a cast change and then they don't ever speak about the cast change. It's just it happens.
You just have to accept that that's how it is now.
Reference,
the
best reference for that, Young and the Restless. My mom watches it. I've seen so many cast changes.
Dude, it just happens. It just happens. So
No,
I mean,
but you're
and
right.
they don't explain shit. You just have to accept it. So
Okay,
just,
quick
in this
tangent.
case,
Do you know how many episodes they film in a day?
Oh, I heard about this once. I don't remember though.
Beast, how many episodes do you think they film of The Young and the Restless a day before Rona?
I don't know, but I'm scared.
Before. Can I estimate like 15? No.
Between 11 and 15 a day. Full episodes.
Okay.
100% complete scripts.
Yeah, that makes makes sense. Because if you can film at least multiple scenes for different episodes and then just replay those specific scenes, that makes sense.
Their scenes are short, so you just have to bunch them together when it's time.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculously cheap to shoot.
Yeah. Shit.
Because if they have the set right there, they just have to switch out the characters, get the script ready for the next characters, and then put them in. That makes sense.
Apparently, as a writer, the cheapest way to make a little bit of cash is to try to write a Young and the Restless episode.
Huh?
So those with writing goals, try. Take your
I want
shot.
to make easy money. In this week's episode, everyone in the cast has coma.
Coma? Everyone has coma?
And everyone's
They have the coma.
Everyone's in coma, and the entire episode is just watching people sleep.
That's not how Young and the Restless works. Someone has to be alive to be experiencing all this.
You have to guess which one's gonna flatline. There, solved.
No, just you know what? No, pull a Naruto. You put one of them into like the Infinite Tsukiyomi. Go one into their dream faces, and you see what's happening into their brains. Boom, that's the story.
See, that's CGI. We don't want to pay more than $5 million for the entire series.
No, it's not. Stop. No, it's not CGI.
That's what I'm saying. You just film them sleeping. It's so easy. They're all in bed.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. There's been situations where they've either had like they've had dreams or stuff like that, and all the stuff or references of like flashbacks. So it's easy money.
But so you're going too far. That's too much filming.
No, I've got it. Me first.
Easy money is putting them all in a coma. No one speaks. You just film them for fucking 20 minutes. Easy cash. Done.
No.
Even better, even easier cash. Everybody close your eyes for a hot second. Follow me along this adventure.
I'm scared.
Imagine, if you will, this scene. We follow Shino's idea. Everybody goes to sleep. Somebody rolls over. We go doodle 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 doo, and we're all in Animal Crossing. It's even cheaper because you don't have to pay anybody.
But we have to ask Nintendo for endorsements. Listen, man, just
no, you don't.
20 minutes of a coma, and we all get easy money. Done.
Oh man.
All right.
Sometimes
with that
I worry
tangent,
about you guys.
Oh boy. I mean, you should worry about me.
And I do.
Anyway, tangents aside, the end of this episode, the end of this live stream, is brought to you by some books to read this week. So, on the left of your stream is all of the free comics Comixology is featuring. They are 100% free. If you have an Amazon account, you have a Comixology account, they are 100% free. I think it totals over 100 comics.
Did you say free?
110% free. If you go to the link on screen, or if you go to your Amazon account or your Comixology account, because now you have both, ta-da! You have 100 free comics.
Nice.
I don't know how else to express enjoyment.
I felt it.
I'm glad.
That's okay. On your right is something for the future. On November 3rd, Jupiter Jet and the Forgotten Radio is the Volume 2 to Jupiter Jet. Jupiter Jet is a 17-year-old girl inspired by the Rocketeer. This is a indie-made comic published by Action Lab. And this is about the 17-year-old girl named Jupiter Jet. That's her hero name. And the radio that a relative left her, and what she does with this, and what kind of villain she faces now that she's the only hero in this universe. This is an all ages book, so this is good for your 12-year-old because Christmas is coming up. This is also good for everybody on this show. This is good for everybody.
You said Rocketeer, so shut up and take my money.
Very much inspired by the Rocketeer.
Yep. And I love the Rocketeer, so shut up and take my money. I'll definitely want to look at this.
So, to get this comic, all you have to do is walk into your local comic book store. You ask, I would like to pre-order Jupiter Jet and the Forgotten Radio. They will go to their computer. They will pre-order you this volume. Sometimes they ask you to pay the full price. Sometimes they ask you to put a little bit down. If you take your receipt and email it to something I will post in the chat in a hot second, you have a chance to win a Jupiter Jet and the Forgotten Radio prize pack. So that includes signed prints from the creators, Jason Inman and Ashley Victoria Robinson.
Okay.
I'm not sponsored by this show. I happen to like these creators and have been following their work. You can find proof that I've been following their work in our big long episodes about all the things you should be consuming this during the pandemic.
During the Backstreet Boys tour.
During the Backstreet Boys tour. Right before we all got tickets to it.
Mandatory tickets, if you will.
Yeah. I've been trying to give mine away, but no one wants them.
The funny thing is, it was free admission, and we had to keep it.
Yeah.
Table, if you could do me a big favor and find the link to that episode.
I am in the process, Red. I got you.
Did
you guys get your Backstreet Boys World Tour wristbands? I got mine.
It's been fused to my flesh. Send help.
It's infused in my Comixology account because now I've got 100 free comics. If you take the receipt and you send it to the email that I will post very soon, you can win yourself the prize pack. It is signed by the creators, and one person out of everybody that sends it in can get their name as a character in Volume 3.
Oh,
that's actually super cool.
This book started off
as kind of creepy.
This book started off as a Kickstarter campaign. I personally funded it. The show did not fund it. I personally funded it.
Okay.
Red likes things.
I like creator-owned things because they own this character.
Support creators.
Correct.
Please, God.
Another book by them is called Science: The Elements of Dark Matter. Right now, it's up for the Ringo Awards. If you just type in Google the Ringo Awards voting, you can vote for the Ringo Awards and help that book by the same creators that you can find my real name in the back of that book.
Nice.
Is this a treasure hunt now? Go figure out who Red is, please. Don't.
Is
also,
this
find out his identity.
This,
this
Science and the Elements of Dark Matter is up against right now the most famous kids graphic novel there is right now. It's called Dogman. It's done by the same person that did Captain Underpants.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
They have a very low chance, but you know what? We're a live
Worth a
show.
shot.
We've got a handful of people here. That's 8 more votes if we all go.
Spread
Yeah.
the word. Spread the word.
Also, shout out to Agwignard2287.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, buddy.
That's
There's
pretty
2
close.
G's. I'm not
I
good
was,
at
I,
G's.
was, I was guessing with a Guignard.
Agwignard?
That's what I'm guessing. If I mispronounce it, I'm so sorry. You may sacrifice me at any time you want to. Maybe call you Agui for short.
Here, let me
Agui?
guys give you a real hint on who that is. That was our artist who designed our brilliant logo.
Oh, snap. Hey, thanks for the follow.
Hey,
Well, thanks for
We
the
respect and
logo.
appreciate you.
we hella appreciate you.
Yeah.
You can
okay,
find
so nice.
any ways to contact this person in the description of every single one of our videos on our channel.
Indeed.
And Beastie,
got-
why don't you tell them where to find said channel?
Oh, that channel that we post.
That we post things on sometimes.
Yeah.
With you mean that very nice podcast where we upload every Wednesday to YouTube, and you can download also on mobile apps such as Anchor FM or wherever you find podcasts searching under Nerd Crusade. You can also
We're on
find our social
Spotify.
links with Instagram and Twitter. With Instagram is at Nerd Crusade and Twitter is Crusade Nerd.
We're on
Pretty good, pretty
Spotify.
good.
We're on your Apple Podcast. We're on your podcast app of choice because I have mine. It's neither of those.
Mhm.
We have found our way onto many platforms. It's kind of neat.
Yes.
I
We
believe if
also
you
have a
look
link
hard
tree.
enough. I believe if you look hard enough, we're even on Stitcher.
What
That would
is
take a lot of
Stitcher?
looking, though.
Yeah, what's Stitcher though?
It is one of the other bigger podcast things. Even there's a
Ooh.
Marvel podcast. It's all about Wolverine. Directly done by Marvel.
Excuse me.
Weird.
Excuse me. Totally dedicated to Wolverine.
Yes, a snick, sir.
Okay.
That man.
Okay.
Snickety
Okay.
snack.
The one bub himself. I believe
Okay.
it's called A Lonely Night. Wolverine, A Lonely
Oh.
Night.
I'm gonna write this down. Excuse me.
So
Do you
you've
think he's ever been knighted? He's Canadian. It's possible.
Sounds about right.
probably,
Mm.
as Mr. Candy has said in Django Unchained, you have got my curiosity, but now you've got my attention.
Oh. Oh.
Quote
Who
Shino
likes-
Brando.
All right.
Oh, that's not the quote that came up. Oh darn, we spun the quote wheel and it did not come up.
What were you looking for?
You're not
Well-
cops. This-
That's why I like that command. So, on our end, there is an entire list of all the quotes and where you can find exactly where we said this quote
Yep.
in what episode and who said it. The only thing you can't find is the time code, but
Yeah.
That just means you gotta go looking.
right.
Please.
Is an entire list of all the funny quote we've said to date.
Nice.
Every
We've
time
got some good ones.
Every time
We've
we
said-
record an episode, and if you catch it early enough, if you are in the chat and we are not live, you could even catch it because we record an episode and then I've added it, and so you couldn't possibly hear it. And so it's there for finding. Anybody in the chat can run either of those two commands the Nerd Crusade has run. And yeah.
Also, if you didn't manage to catch all of the stream today, we're going to start uploading these up onto YouTube. So you can actually go back and see what you might have missed.
Mm-hmm.
like a time paradox.
They will go live on Saturdays after our show.
Hey.
Feel free to check them out on our YouTube, which
Yeah.
we've already been over.
Yes.
But just for fundies, just to catch us out, Shino, why don't you do the outro this time?
No, because I don't even know how to do an outro. For the queen, for country. I never really do an outro really before, so just tune in next week and have a good night.
Thanks
You
for
can
tuning
find
in.
You can find our Twitter at Crusade Nerd. You can find our Instagram at Nerd Crusade, and you can find our main show, the Nerd Crusade Podcast, wherever you find your podcasts.
See,
All right, you fucking stickler.
I don't do that. I have to write that down. I have to script that. I can't do that. You guys do it off
It's
the top.
okay.
Like some hardcore rappers. You guys are
no.
I can't do that.
No. It's okay. I wrote it down too.
Oh.
I just don't look at my phone when I do it, but yeah.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. Have a good night, folks.
Bye.
Night, y'all.